What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are doing a live stream leftovers video today. This is where I take the leftover requests from the most recent live stream and we compile them into one video, and I do them not distracted, not with any live stream comments or anything, any more requests getting piled on. We do all the requests I got left over. Typically, we get anywhere from 10 to 20 requests, 30 requests that are left over in these videos. This one only has 13. That's because the last live stream got cut off a little bit early. I wasn't able to pile on more requests at the end like I normally do, unfortunately. So 13 requests here. I'll name them off right now. There will be a pinned comment in the comment section below from me that will say what cryptos we're talking about, and next to them will be their appropriate timestamps as well. But I'm going to give you the list right now because it is so small. We're going to talk about virtuals, Zen, XDB, MTL, PEKO, and LFG. We're going to talk about QNT, VATO, Jasmy, Epic, Zora, SHX, and to finish it off, Pangolin, PNG at the end there. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll probably spend a minute or two, maybe a few more on each of these. So this video will be a little bit long, but it shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad. You know, 13 requests. I would expect that we get done with this video somewhere around 30 minutes to 40 minutes, less than an hour. That'd be my guess. So let's hop into it. Let's do this here. All right, here we are looking at virtuals. Again, hit that like button, you guys. We're doing our homework here. We're going to find, and I also do announce which one I like the most. So out of these 13, we're going to find the diamonds in the rough, which ones I like the most. Virtuals. Definitely a serious contender. Looks very, very good as far as the chart is concerned, right? Very, very popular crypto. I remember, in shout out to Ivan on Tech, he was calling for this thing back here, man, back at the lows. This thing just ripped. I wonder, actually, how much did it do? Let's not even go from its low point, right? Because the idea that you bought the low is just, it's not likely, right? So let's say you bought the high point, the second high point of this overall range, right? Let's just pretend that you bought here or lower. I mean, that's over 100x. Like, you could have had over 100x. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff, you guys. Anyways, high to low here. Golden ratio down to the 382. The fact that we're a little bit below the 382 is not encouraging, in my opinion. It's kind of odd, but whatever. Sometimes odd things happen. Let's take a low to high and see if we're doing something more standard with this. Low to high here. Okay, yeah. 382, or the 0.5 to the 382 working your way down. You probably do go down to your golden ratio. Let's see. What would that promote for this? That promote a 17% drop. That's a bit extreme, but in all fairness, you know, you're down 17% this week. I think the average altcoin is down like 8%. So you know, you might see a more extreme drop in that sense. And of course, you have pumped a lot more since April 7th than the average altcoin, pumped a lot more this cycle than the average altcoin has as well. So it makes sense that you might have a little bit more to give back as a result of that. You know, looking at these downtrends like this, these lower lows, lower highs, people think, oh, we can't break out of the downtrend. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you wick a little bit out of that line. And just drawing it this way, I'm not drawing the straightest line, but let's just see. Would it make sense to go down there? Over the coming weeks, I would expect that we have this resolved in the next 2 weeks. 1, 2. Yeah, we could absolutely reach for 83 cents. And maybe we don't. Maybe we don't hit 83 cents, but I think 83.8 cents, 73 cents is a very possible target outcome. I'd also say from a low to a high here, it's completely possible that you see some kind of fake out where you go just below this low that you established on the first day of September, and you find support at about 96 cents. It's very possible that you see something like that. So anything from 83.8 cents to 96 cents would be what I would guess. There's a lot of significance there at that 83 cent area, though. Likely, virtuals will continue to build. It will continue to grow. Likely, this is not your all-time high. So I do believe that we're going to see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle, expecting targets anywhere and everywhere from about $10 and beyond. Let's just see. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna see. I mean, virtuals. Look at how red everything is, you guys. It's just so it is death to all crypto today. I'm not trying to laugh at anybody who's losing money, man. It's just I don't know why I do enjoy the downtrends. I don't know why. It's because it's opportunities. I suppose I would enjoy them less if I was anticipating upside, but we tend to catch on pretty quickly most of the time. We don't catch every single significant drop that happens. Sometimes they do happen unexpectedly. That's always going to happen, but this one we definitely were expecting. Virtuals protocol, $666 million market cap. Yeah, you've got 100x capabilities for sure. Doesn't mean that you will, but I would think that by the end of this cycle, virtuals probably sees a $24 price, if not higher. So $24 at a minimum. At a minimum, at minimum, I would expect that virtual sees a $24 price. Okay. At a given maximum, you could see something that's at like 125, but personally, I think virtuals probably stops off at 62, $62, $24, somewhere in that area. When I say personally, I think it stops off there. That doesn't mean that it will stop there. I just mean this is the target area, 62 to 24. You could go a little bit higher, but then we're really pushing the boundaries. I think 62 to 24 is probably where you're going to go, and that's fantastic growth from here. So that's virtuals. Let's move on. I spent way too much time talking about that. Let's talk about Zen now. Horizon. Zen. Yes, Zen has been very Zen indeed, right? You just sell the highs and buy the lows, and that's probably treated you well at least once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times now over the past couple of years. Not bad, not bad. Those are pretty big ranges too, man. I mean, from the low point here to the average high point, I mean, it's a 50% growth. You could have had pretty decent gains by now, man. I mean, you double all it takes. You take $100 and you double it 12 times, and I'm pretty sure that gets you to like 400 something thousand dollars. You could have been halfway there already, um, maybe a little bit more than that even. Anyways, or maybe less. Whatever, tomato, tomato. More than that if you held on for this one, but I'm talking about shenanigans at this point. So let's move on. $6.35 now, weekly time frame. It looks like you want to go lower. You're kind of lifeless at this point in time. You haven't seen any life in a good bit. You look bearish on your everything, really everything. So lower you go. What we're looking for is a little bit of life at one of these low areas here. Okay, something that's at about $5.96 to $5.45, something in that area. Let's just see, how is Horizon doing? Horizon Crypto. What did I just do? Zen, Horizon, Crypto Horizon. I don't want to do that. Let's just do, is it this? Horizon Global? This has to be it, I would think, right? Yeah, it looks like it. That looks like the symbol. Yeah. Good. So they've posted things. Good. They're still doing things. I don't know much about Zen. I know a little bit about it, but I would think, it's got a low market cap. I do think that what this is a massive accumulative phase, okay? You got listed on Coinbase, you sold off, you're in a massive accumulative phase, and I think that it is accumulating. I think just bide your time, and when time comes, I would expect that we do move up. I wouldn't even be surprised if this thing did see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle. As crazy as it is with how boring it's been, it might have more potential than virtuals even. $110 million market cap, yeah. If this thing wanted to, it absolutely could see a 100x. But I think we have to validate first, right? You have to get above this high before we start thinking about that. But I think that you've got a lot of potential in you. It's just first and foremost, you're probably going to drop somewhere around $6 to $5.50. You're at $6.35 now, so lower to go. Yeah, that's Zen. Start to get excited. Start to get excited when you get above this high, but I would say really it's probably more time to get excited once you get above about $17, $20 there. That's whenever things will be exciting. Even right here at what is about like $13 there, $12, yeah, that'll be exciting as well. Getting above, if you just kind of put a line where most of the price action has been since November of 2022, right? Like think about it. Since this time frame, a lot of cryptos they've either moved up or they've moved down. You just moved sideways, so you're not in a bad position here, right? It's just you've given back every single pump that you've had, which is kind of unfortunate, but hey, whatever, it happens. You're in a massive accumulative phase right here. Whenever you get above these areas where you've been under significantly for most of your time, that's when it's time to get excited. Okay. For now, we're in a wait and see moment, but being that they still seem to be interactive, that's nice to see. It's not like their last post was last year in May, so they're clearly doing things, building things, talking. That's good. Building out a brand. Do your own research. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this one could be a real winner by the end of the cycle. It absolutely could be. I remember we liked it a lot earlier this cycle. Zen, XDB, we like this one. I remember this one, man. We like this. It's been a while since we looked at it, though. Let's see. It's been like a month, probably. XDB, and I'll pull up another one, too, while we're at it, because it looks like the computer's being slow. Metal, we'll talk about Metal DAO. XDBB. Yep. I wanted to start this video with having all of them loaded, like have like 13 different trading view tabs open. I should have done that because then we wouldn't have to wait for these things to load. Yeah, XDB. Okay, this is why I love this one, right? Because it dropped so much. It dropped so much. You guys, this, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is, if you have a coin that looks like this, and I'm not talking about on a 4-hour basis, weekly basis, this is great, right? You can see the, I can't draw it, but the clear curving, the soft curve here, the rounded bottom. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you got to appreciate a nice rounded bottom, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. When you have a rounded bottom like the North Star, wise men will follow. And man, I very much think that what you're seeing here is accumulation. It's a setup. Typically, whenever you get these kind of setups, the reason why we love them is because as tenacious as a move down as you had, the move up is going to be even more robust. It's going to be even more robust. And we look at areas of significance, okay? So we take this into account. You've got an area here of significance, prior lows, right? You got an area here of significance, closing highs on a weekly time frame. Area there of significance, weekly wicking high and a wicking low right here, right there in that area. And then really the only significant areas that you had from there were all the way up here, right? Like all the way up here, up in this zone right here. So essentially, XDB, you've got anything from a 4.7x move at a minimum, which I doubt you stop at your minimum target whenever you've been accumulating since July of 2023 very clearly, okay? Hold on. To a 14x move, which I doubt you stop there, you're probably going to see this thing rip dramatically to a 40x move. Mark my words, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. You're going to be like, where did I hear about XDB? XDB chain, why does that sound familiar? Because you're going to start to think that whenever this thing rips through the freaking roof and it's up here and it's up like 40x in a 1 month period. I don't mean 1 month from now, maybe. By the end of the year, probably. This thing's got a lot of growth to go, you guys. If we look at XDB, I wouldn't be surprised in the least. Do your own research. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do your own research. It's a very low market cap coin. It's holding up, it's actually down about 13% in the past 24 hours, so it's a little bit more than the average coin as far as dropping goes, but it's holding up rather well. We're down, 23% this week, definitely more than average, but you're a low cap coin, so that's kind of normal. This is the kind of chart that I like to look for. Do your own research. I don't even know enough about it yet to make an appropriate decision, so I need to curb my enthusiasm. I just wouldn't be surprised in the least. I've seen it before. This thing does a 40x, man, it could do more than that by the end of the cycle, right? You've got an $8 million market cap. Let's say you have a $10 million market cap. $10 million, 100x is $1 billion. 100x would put you right about here. $1 billion market cap right there. And I'm assuming you dropped off probably because you had a lot of tokens printed, right? Minted. I would assume. You probably weren't worth billions and then you dropped all the way to $1 million. I would doubt, or $8 million. Let's see. Circulating supply is 17 billion. You're almost fully diluted, so that's nice to see as well. Pretty transparent on the profile score. Profile score on CoinMarketCap just means transparency. 72% is actually pretty good, right? Like standard's like 50 to 60, so 70% is actually better than average. We think 70 is like average, right? But it's actually better than average in this case. I truly wouldn't be surprised if this was a multi-100x capable coin. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but just watch, man. This thing could really do a 500x by the end of the cycle. What's it available on? XDB. It's on KuCoin, Gate.io, and MEXC. You could probably buy it through means of a DEX as well. I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if you could, but if you need to use MEXC or anything like that, if you want to buy this coin, you probably have to have a VPN. But there might be other means of buying it too. Just ask Grok. If you're in the United States, you want to buy this coin, how would you go about it? And he'll let you know. Maybe he'll be right, maybe he'll be wrong, but just work it out. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is massive potential with this one. Do your own research. I don't know enough about it. I love it whenever people come at me after I say that. They'll say you don't know anything about it, but you think it's going to go this high? Dude, I've made these kind of calls before about coins that I never even read the fundamentals, and it happened. Okay, it happened. It's not technical analysis is not about fundamentals. Fundamentals help, and that's why if you're going to invest, you should look up the fundamentals and be able to tell somebody what this project does. Overall, I like the weekly RSI. Stochastics are bearish at the moment, and the MACD, what's the MACD look like? MACD is bullish, but with a kind of bearish note at the moment. It's not a big deal. Daily time frame. Yeah, bearish at the moment, but you're probably not going to go too much lower, man. You're probably more likely at an area to find support than you are to continue going lower. Doesn't mean you can't go lower. Let's just look at this here real quick from a high to a low. Yeah, I think the lowest you go, you're at 30465. You could go to 30358. Okay. It's very common to go from your 786 down to the 236, which is crazy because from a high to a low, man, that's a 63% drop. But you could see it happen. From the current price, that'd be another 22%. But if I expect the average altcoin to drop a good bit, you could drop a little bit more. If not, you'll find support right around here or somewhere just below. But tomato, tomato, whatever. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I wouldn't be surprised if you found support soon enough. Low to high. Golden ratios down there. I don't think you get to your 236. I don't think you do. I think you probably find support just below these lows and right around these highs here. Something in this golden ratio. 30415 or lower might be a good area to consider. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Metal Dow. Here we are. MTL. Looking at this thing here. Talk about good structure, okay? It's good structure for now. You see what I'm talking about? You got good support. You're finding support at prior areas of support and prior resistance here, your low area here. What I don't like is that you found support here, nice, and now you're grinding it out. That's not nice. I don't like that so much. What is Metal Dow? What's its market cap? 53 million, pretty low market cap. Decent volume, nothing crazy. There's maybe a little bit more to be desired, but hey, you're down 7%. That's better than most coins right now, probably. Bitcoin keeps on dropping, baby. Keep it going. You know you want to. I know you want to. You know you want to. Oh, keep on dropping. Oh, Bitcoin wants to. Low to high. We're at the 786, 886 area. This is the area that I expect us to find support. So we actually might find support right here. If not, we could come down a little bit more. Understand, if we take out 108.4K, if you're watching this, so we've taken that out, we're below that on a daily closing basis, we're going to go to 104K, below 105K. Okay, what do the liquidations look like? Let's look at this real quick. Hold on. Yes. Let's see. Come on. Good. Hey, we did it. We did it, baby. We went from 14 billion in longs to 8 billion with a $2,000 move. Wow. They got scared. And now we're at 16 billion. Great. Love it. We probably have a little bit lower to go. I don't know, though. This could be it, guys. This might be that moment where things start to take off. Anyways, metal. When things start to take off, hopefully you take off with it, right? Pretty boring. Pretty boring throughout the cycle. You're basically back where your cycle began. That's not encouraging, if I'm being honest. I don't like your monthly RSI or the stochastics or the MACD. I don't like that. I don't like the weekly time frame either. This all suggests you have lower to go. The sad reality is, guys, there are going to be coins that prove themselves to be duds. And I know a lot of people like metal. I know people who like XPR like metal as well. And what I'm saying might sound bearish, but here, let me clarify. I'm not bearish on it. But you're in the doghouse right now. You're in a position where you're going to make it or break it, okay? By make it, I mean, can you go a little bit lower? Sure. But you better hold this area of support. By break it, I mean death, right? Death forever. Death forever, and it just keeps on going. It's forever ending death, right? Never ending death. Or you make it, you find support, and you break out of this area. If you can get out of this area that you've been in really since March of this year, then you're home free. But I don't know enough about this to make that kind of judgment call. So what I will say is key areas to watch. You do not want to go below, at least on a weekly closing basis, you do not want to go below 51.4 cents. And you do want to go on a weekly closing basis above 91.3 cents. That's what you want. You might see something where you fake out, you break out of this a little bit, and then you revert back. Great, awesome, but you need to break out of here. You do that, you should have some voluptuous upside because this thing's been moving sideways for a long time. You're going to see some rambunctiousness come out of it. But I have to be honest, I don't like the chart. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I wouldn't want to put my money in this. The structure's nice for now. I hope I'm wrong. Metal. Let's talk about Pico now. Oh, right. It's a DEX coin. Hold on. Pico, Pico. I'm pretty sure, and I'm not 100% sure. Huh. Failed to connect a server. Oh no, that's not good. If this is happening, that's not good. Let me try something else real quick, guys, and see if this works. If not, we might just not be able to do Pico or LFG. We might not be able to do any DEX coins. Sometimes DEX screener craps out on me. Wow. Refresh one more time. It's like everything else works, but I can't search. Pico. There we go. Hey, there we go. 7 days, 14 hours. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure. This is a project that Rob Mass, that he's promoted, right? Is this his coin or a community coin that he's behind? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let me refresh this real quick. Hold on. I'm telling you guys, Dex Screener definitely likes to mess with me. Okay, so unfortunately, unfortunately, this is what we're gonna have to look at. Okay, but I don't think I'm gonna refresh it one more time. Let's just see. No, it's gonna do it again. Oh, 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 safe. Love it. Okay, so Pico. Pico here. I know nothing about this coin. What I do know, or I think I know, is that Rob Mass is a supporter of this coin, and maybe there's other YouTubers or content creators that are in support of this coin. So by that note, look into it, see if you can figure out, if we go, I don't know, let's go to the Twitter. Let's just see. What's it look like? Do a little bit of research here. Shout out to Crypto Future, by the way. Meow meow. What a day for 3 new all-time highs. Pico. Post. It's just a post. Let me go. Let's go to official Pico here. This is the address if anybody's looking for it. I think. Crypto Future. Looks like, yeah, official Pico. He supports it. Nice. Nice, nice. I don't know if it's his coin. I don't know much about it, but okay, so it's a low market cap coin. That's what we do know. It's clearly in a phase of indecisiveness right now. What's nice about this coin is that it's not really down that much, right? Bitcoin's here dropping below 109K, and Pico's just chilling. That's kind of nice. Not a lot of selling volume. Decent volume, though. Decent volume overall for being a boring day. Decent volume for the market cap. This is the kind of coin that it can make or break, man. I mean, it could come all the way back down here and then still go up to new all-time highs. So, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're investing in this, just put investing. If you want to gamble, put some money into it, and invest, whatever. Except that it could go down this low. You could literally see like a 80% drop, 90% drop. So put money in that you don't care about, right? But also accept that it's at a very low market cap. If it is a community-driven project, this could do, it could do a 10x, it could do a 20x, it could do a 100x, do more than that. You never know. You never know how crazy things can get. So it's worth making a play, but it's a fun thing, right? Treat it like fun, like you're putting it all on black, or making a bet just on black, whatever. Maybe not all of it, right? Don't put the whole house on it, but this could be just for fun. And I would assume that there's probably more going on than it just being a coin that's got nothing going for it. I would assume that maybe there's some more development that's going to take place as far as like community building and stuff like that goes. So we're expecting higher prices at some point, I would assume, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I suppose I wouldn't buy it here. I'd look to buy back at these lows. I'd let it do its thing and develop, and if it takes off without me, I would just say, bravo, not for me then. That's there, no harm, no foul. That's the best I can say about Pico. But it looks good. I mean, it's upholding at least. And during this whole crypto drop, the fact that it's not selling tells you that you have conviction. Where there's lack of conviction in the other parts of the market, you have conviction here apparently. LFG is another one. And I'm pretty sure, you see Pico, Pico here. Look, see this guy right here. Is this supposed to be Rob? Who is this? I want to know who you are, Mr. Pico Man. We look at Dex Screener here. LFG. Oh, which one is it? Which one is it? I think it's this one. No, not a lot of volume. You want this one with more volume. It has to be this one. Yeah, it's this one. It is this one. And I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. So there's something going on here. Again, do your own research, right? Read up on the website, on the x.com. I don't know. There's something going on here I'm not aware of. Is it a good buy? I don't know. It's a low market cap. If you want to roll the dice on some low market cap meme coins, these ones might be some good ones, but I can't do technical analysis on this, so I'm not even going to try. How high could it go? It could go, it's at a $500,000 market cap. It could do a 1,000x. It could do a 5x. I don't know, man. You know, like it. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that's the best I got for those two. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about QNT now. Quant. QNT. So far, my bearish predictions have done all right. So with these videos, right, we're literally watching them take place right before our eyes. QNT, and then what else? We want Vato. Oh, Vato's another Dex Screener coin. Damn. Okay. Vato. It's like Volantis or something, right? Let's see. Vato. Is it this one? Yo, I thought Vato was a different one. We're not going to do it. Maybe it's not. Maybe. Let me see. Huh. Let me check it out here. Let me see. Yeah. Vanitas. Oh, yeah. So this is a scam. This is a scam. All right. Well, at least before I ever talked about it, they validated themselves as a scam. Total scam. I remember I was like, it's kind of unique, right? Because it was a beauty product line. That's what it was. Vantis, scam. So Vato, this one here, probably this one. Yeah, it's a scam. Total scam. I don't know. Vato coin. Maybe that's a different one. Maybe that's a Vato. Vantis, whatever. Vanitas, whatever it was. Scam coin. Well, glad that we never gave that the time of day. Hopefully nobody got wrecked by that. Anyways, I'll probably have to block whoever was recommending that on x.com. This is why I hate saying anything positive about coins that I don't know anything about. Because if I say anything positive, people think, oh, maybe it's worth looking into. I don't know. I just don't want to be mean. Maybe it is worth looking into. QNT. QNT is the next one, okay? QNT, looking at this on a weekly time frame. Let's see how these liquidations are doing. We keep moving down, baby. Good. Look at that. Another $1 billion in longs liquidated or cleared out. Liquidated, yes. But not liquidated. Like they liquidated themselves. I don't think they got liquidated. Another $1 billion in shorts got piled on. Oh, man. We're getting set up for something fierce, you guys. We're getting set up for something real fierce to the upside. Might have lower to go, though. That is a fierce drop right there, y'all. Wow. We haven't had a 4% drop in a while. Since the all-time high. That's crazy. That is crazy. QNT getting a piece of this action. Low to high. Yeah, go to 80 bucks, 73 bucks. We'll see you there. Easy. And then will QNT come back? I don't know. QNT's been a bit of a bummer this cycle, like a lot of these older coins. I wouldn't give up on it. I certainly wouldn't give up on it. It looks like it's in more of an accumulative phase than it is in a consolidative phase. So I would say, and it's the same thing actually, but it is accumulating. QNT here with a $1 billion market cap with a B, you've got 100x potential. You got multi-100x potential. Absolutely you do. This thing's been around for a while. It could absolutely see $100 billion or more. I think by the end of this cycle, you'll be worth $1,700 to $4,000, if not more. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Perhaps you could see the grand Mac Daddy price of about 10K, but that might be pushing it. Okay, that'd be what my largest expectations would be. I do believe $2,000 or higher, 1,700 or higher is doable by the end of the cycle. But you got to show life. You got to show life. I think Quant will. I think it will. I think it'll do well. But for now, it's being boring. Okay, a little bit lower, $80. We'll see you there. All right, next. Jazz my crypto, man. Jazz my crypto right through the roof. MTL. Epic chain. Should we do let's do Binance. Epic, hold on. Epic E. Epic C. Epic C, there we go. Get the all-time history there. Okay. So Jasmy is chilling. Some people really like this coin. I'm indifferent. I don't think it's a bad project. I don't know. I don't know how convicted I am. What I will say is good structure. Very nice support right at a critical area to find support. And you're holding up still rather well. You have been doing well. I know this is anticipated to do pretty well. I know Rob from Crypto Future likes it a lot. We can have differing opinions. I didn't think much of ZBCN, and he was telling me to get into it, man. He was telling all of us to get into it. And that thing did a freaking 10x in 4 weeks and a half. It did phenomenal. So I'm not the end all be all of what's good or what's bad, right? And neither is he. People can be right, people can be wrong. But shout out to Rob one more time. I don't know. You're in this consolidation phase. On a monthly time frame, if you move up, I could see you going to 11 cents, 18 cents, and beyond, of course. Of course. Could you see new all-time highs? Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, you could. You could. At least something that's higher than this. Let's look at the daily time frame real quick. Looks like you want to go lower. Yeah. You could be at a low point here. You do look bad right now, but that you kind of look your worst at your worst, right? I would think you're at a point, man, where if you bounce, see, whenever you do this, you didn't interact with the golden ratio yet, right? You haven't touched it. This is your first touch. You ripped through it. When you rip through the golden ratio and you go to this area, you set yourself up for some very rapid and high velocity movements to the opposite direction, the 236 or the 382. I wouldn't be surprised if you got something like that, honestly. Time will tell. But getting above, what I will say is getting above 1.74 cents will be very positive. It'll be instrumental in deciding that wherever your low is the low. Could you go lower than this low? I think you could, but I'm not expecting that you do. I would think you find support either here or at 1.11 cents. So you're either at your levels of support now or you're very near them, to say the least. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour, bullish divergence on the MACD, bearish on the stochastics. I would think you go a little bit lower, but you're very near. 1.11 cents seems to be the area that you would find support at the lowest. So between here and there. It doesn't mean that you have to go there, but something between now and then is where you're going to go. Then as far as new all-time highs go, or new highs go, relatively speaking, I don't know. If you move up to higher prices than what you saw last year in December, 10 cents is the first target, 20 cents is the next target there. You could absolutely see anything and everything in between there by the end of this year, I think. Okay, jazz me. Jazz my coin, man. We're going to talk about Epic next, but I'm just going to pull up Zora here so that it can load. Epic Chain got a lot of love a few weeks ago, right? Back in July. Yeah, there's a lot of love there. I forget what happened with Epic Chain, but they got adopted by Epic Games. I don't know. Massive move. Absolutely massive move, yeah. There's good things and bad things, man. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Why did it come back? Was it just a false rally? Or was there some kind of instrumental, fundamental difference that happened here? Maybe you guys know, but I don't know. I can say I don't like the chart. You're at points to bounce in all these indicators, okay, which is nice. You look like you want to go lower on all of these indicators, which is not nice. Being at a point to bounce does not mean that you will. bullish divergence on the RSI and the MACD. It's like good, bad, good. Okay. What I will say is this. I actually like this consolidation phase at the top here. I like this. You're at the base of this consolidation phase. I think you're at a good place to bounce. So I would say if you want to speculate, this is probably the most opportunistic moment to buy. However, if you get a day to close below $1.65, finito. Death. Yeah, like death. But if you hold here, life. A lot of life. 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 High to low. See at $3.37 to $6.56, somewhere in that area. If not, again, death. $1.65 needs to hold. Daily closes above there. You can wick below there, but close. You're right. You're 3 cents, 4 cents away from it now. Okay? Right on the edge. Right on the edge. Zora. Zora's been in the doghouse, hasn't it? Massive pump, absolutely massive pump because of its unique niche in the crypto space, right? Developing a decentralized foundation for social media, which is pretty cool and actually seems to be used too. It actually does have a lot of usage. Like people actually do use it. You can make a lot of money. You can make money off of posts, right? Imagine Facebook, but you get paid for your posts. That's Zora. Literally. It's a little bit dumbed down and at the same time a little more sophisticated, depending. 5.6 cents right now. I don't know. Low to high. Yeah, you could go lower. I will say you're kind of odd, so you don't have to do this, but you could go down to about 4.8 cents. You're at 5.6 cents now. Maybe you do. Doesn't mean that you have to, but you could. You didn't really show a lot of respect at the 236, so I don't expect you to show respect here. Okay, but 4.82 cents, 4.83 cents. Let's just say that's the lowest that I'd expect you go. Maybe even a hair below there is fine. Low to high. Yeah, this one you are respecting. So this would call for lower prices. Yeah, I think something between about 5.34 cents and 4.8 cents. Okay, something in there. We're at 5.6 cents now. Lower. Daily RSI looks lower. Everything looks lower about it. But I would imagine, especially after this massive pump here, that you have more to go. Let's look it up real quick. Zora. How massive was this pump, by the way? I forget. Really kicking myself in the butt because I knew about it, man. I knew about it down here. I thought about buying some. I just didn't, right? It's always ones you don't buy. 17x, bro. Not even from the low, just from like where I would have bought probably. Where would I have sold? Maybe I would have sold late and I would have had a 9x, almost a 10x. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Knowing me, though, I probably wouldn't sell. I'd probably just be waiting for the next area to buy more and then go up. Crazy. Zora, $190 million market cap. Very high potential. It could go up a lot, you guys. Absolutely it could. But because you're in this niche aspect of the crypto space and you're unique, all it takes is something better than you to come out, something that copies your idea, but it's better to come out, and then you're irrelevant, right? Like Hyperliquid with Aster, right? Not that it's irrelevant. I'm just saying like that. There's that threat then. Something better comes out. You're only unique for so long until somebody copies you and then makes it the exact same except better. And if that happens with this, I don't know if it would be relevant anymore. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't be. But I would expect that we do get more growth. As far as how high could it go, you could do 100x, do a multi-100x, could do a 20x. Time will tell. But that's that. Let's talk about SHX now, which is it Stronghold? Yeah, that's right. Stronghold. And then we'll finish this off with PNG. Pangolin. SHX, very, very bullish, my friends. Very, very bullish. Crazy. Man, I remember people were asking about SHX last year when it was at like less than a cent. Now here we are at 1.6 cents. Crazy, crazy growth, man. 78x overall. Crazy. Very bullish. What's SHX at? Yeah, you're probably at a $92 million market cap. You probably have 100x potential or more in you. Doesn't mean that you will. You've already grown a lot this cycle so far, but you could absolutely do that. You could absolutely grow more. 1,000x's from a low to a high are not out of the question in crypto, you guys. Crazy stuff. You only really got on the map as of like February of 2024, January of 2024. High to low here. Yeah, come down. You got 1.62 cents. Come down. Come down to 1.5 cents, 1.25 cents, somewhere in that area. Find support there and then move up. You could find support here. It's a bit unorthodox, but I would think you go to 1.5 cents or lower. I think the indicators agree with me. Get that stochastics in the oversold zone or bouncing off of it, and then we'll talk. But you have a little bit lower before you get to that. Yeah, everything else looks like it wants to go lower. So lower. Lower makes sense. And then when you go higher, expect 6.6 cents to 22 cents. Wow. 6.6 to 22 cents. So from the current price, let alone from the low, you've got 4x to 13x potential. And this is what I would expect. I wouldn't be surprised if you were up in this area by the end of the year. These are not end of cycle goals. End of cycle, like I said, you got massive potential. Above $1, above $2. Crazy potential. I don't even want to guess where it could go. But lower from here. PNG is the next one. We're going to talk about Pangolin, and we're going to wrap this video up. Pangolin, very massive movement up. Now you're finding support, coincidentally, not so coincidentally, right here where you found resistance before, that's where you're finding support. Right in the heart of this overall move up that you had. We take the low, we put it at the high. You're bouncing off the 0.5, hitting the 382. Typically in this kind of circumstance, I would think we go to the golden ratio, but I don't think so. Because also you're doing something different, right? You've got a B, C correction. You're moving sideways. You're accumulating. I think you're going to break out and move higher. All the Pangolinites, patience, my friends, patience. You're about to be vindicated. Yes. Nice. 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 It looks good. I like this. Your next target destination, which could be 3 weeks away with how this thing likes to grow, would be all the way up at $1.35 to $2.40. Okay, it's a 20x to potentially like an 11x, something in there. That's where I think you'll be by the end of 2025. End of cycle, new all-time highs. I mean, end of cycle, guys, you could be, oof. I mean, hell, let's see. What's PNG doing? It's a 200x right there. You could do it. You could do it. I'm not saying that you will. I'm just saying that you could. You could do it. End of cycle, I think you'll be worth something of around $3 to $5, if not more. And if it's more, I mean, $26, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, 26, 28 bucks. 13 bucks, 15 bucks. I'm pretty confident you see new all-time highs. So screw me if I'm wrong. You might even be above 250 by the end of this year. We'll see. Depends on how you move here. But I think you will be moving soon enough. Hold out, you guys. I think that this thing's about to rip. If, however, we see on a weekly closing basis prices not below, but on a closing basis below 10 cents, get out. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but then at that point, this is bad. That's all I got. If I had one that stood out above all else, that would be a winner in this video. Oh, I suppose, I don't know. I feel the most confident in virtuals. XDB looks really good for like a short-term bounce. It looks really, really good. I like that chart a lot. The winner, I don't know, man. There's a real tiebreaker going on here. It's between virtuals, XDB, SHX, and PNG. There's good things about all of them, right? With virtuals, you get the safety. It's the one that I'm the most convinced will do well. But am I convinced that it will outperform the rest of the ones that I listed? No. I think that out of all of those, it'll probably perform the least. If all the other coins perform, virtuals, XDB, PNG, and SHX, if they perform, they're going to outperform virtuals. Zen could be a good one too. I don't know. No winner. No winner in this one, man. I'm not convinced anyway. If I had to say, I guess the way that I normally define the winner is by which one I would want to buy. And undoubtedly, the one that stands out to me that I'd want to buy the most out of all of these projects right now would be XDB. So there we go. There we have the answer. XDB, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's the winner. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Do your own research. Take care. Bye-bye.